All right, guys. Ugh. All right, we're here. Is the volume too loud right now? It looks loud, but maybe it's not.
Right, guys.
Subray, Ava, Boyce, BA, Old, Rick. Not as good. All right, so Bitcoin at 92.26. Nvidia slightly red on the day, over 180s though. Oracle at 196. You can kind of see the SPY itself here is sitting at 688. Previous closing price 689. Most things are slightly red, I would say, this morning. Apple slightly red, Google slightly green, Amazon slightly red, Netflix slightly green. We have like AMD slightly red. Again, Oracle has rebounded a little bit from yesterday's drops. We got some news this morning that the Bank of Japan, one of the things that I saw earlier was that the Bank of Japan has reportedly said the C hiking cycle is likely to extend beyond 75 basis points and is said to be no closer to pinpointing the neutral rate. Any updated neutral rate range is still said to be wide, so they don't know where rates are going, but they know they're hawkish basically in the Bank of Japan. All right, and we had the FOMC meeting this week. The Fed paused rates, and or no, I'm sorry, the Fed cut rates 25 basis points, and then I think was pretty neutral afterwards. Yesterday we had jobless claims, unemployment that spiked as well. I think they showed up at 236,000. Higher claims as more unemployment, so that was higher than expected. And then next week on Tuesday we got the November payrolls report, labor report, and then on Thursday we have CPI inflation data. Both of those things is going to guide the next Fed decision in January. Gold, on the other hand, is spiking very close to highs for gold. Gold right now is at 43.68. I will buy a pullback in gold if we get one here. I will buy a pullback if we get one. I don't know if we're going to get one, but I will buy a pullback if we do. We have some Fed members speaking today as well. We have Anna Paulson, which is the Philly Fed president, Cleveland Fed president Beth Hammock speaking at 8:30. We got Austin Goolsbee speaking at 10:35 this morning. Again, today is a little bit lighter on data. Market's still processing jobless claims, up increase, latest inflation. Crypto, Bitcoin still trying to stabilize on the low 90 area. Hold over 90,000, I think. And yeah, so far the news is kind of light. I'll try to trade a little bit more if we can get some stuff to do today. I will turn on a poll here. What's a good poll question here, chat? Honestly, my YouTube page is loading weird. Yeah. It's probably too strong. It's not bad. What's a good poll question? See, the problem is if I try to refresh this stream... Okay, it worked this time. Yeah. Like, there's a little bit of, like, it won't even let me set a poll this morning. I'm gonna have to go to a different page here besides the watch page. Like, YouTube seems to be working fine. But let me go to YouTube. Gonna go to the encoder. Be able to see the chat that way. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me do a poll here. Yeah, this poll is working. Okay. What's a good poll today? They screwed us on Tilray stock. What are you down on Tilray? I mean, listen, man. Tilray Cannabis Company. It spikes back and forth between like 20s. In September, it was at 23s. It's now at 1070s. You know, so it's gonna go up and down big percentages. Is how it behaves. You're awesome, man. Best objective, data-driven insights. Thank you. Right now it is 6:15 in the morning. 6:22 in the morning, my time. Gold. Will gold break all-time highs today? Gold futures all-time high is what? 90 or no, I'm sorry, 43.98. Will gold futures break all-time highs? Oh wait, is this a reverse split by Tilray? No, I would see it differently in the price. Hold on. Okay, yeah, it is a reverse split. So this is not actual strength. This is just them reducing the amount of shares that are out there. Yeah, I mean, companies that are failing do this, right? I'm not saying Tilray's failing, but companies that are failing will you know, like an example of a regular split is when they put 2 times the amount of shares out there and they reduce the price by half. If it's a regular split, it's just an example of one. A lot of the time they're like 10. They're 10xing. They are reducing the share size by 10. They're reducing the share price by 10x or something like that. So, but a reverse split is the opposite. They're basically taking shares away, increasing, which would then increase the price of the remaining shares. They're keeping the market capitalization same price, but they're the same amount, but they are reducing the amount of shares, which makes each individual share price higher, if that makes sense. It's usually like minimum bid requirements from the exchange that they're on. They're getting a little bit too cheap. They're starting to get risky there. They want to make themselves look healthier. These are usually struggling companies that do this, versus normal splits are done when healthy companies are, you know, gaining too much price per share. President plans to ease regulations. I don't know. Part of the government shutdown resumption bill banned intoxicating hemp. And so, you know, we'll see. Every president says they're going to be honest. None of them ever do. They get that PAC money from people who don't want it legalized, like pharmaceutical industry. All right, so will gold break all-time highs? I might buy a dip in gold if I can get one. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia just went green on the day. Yeah, Nvidia just went green. If it holds. I'm gonna try to trade today, guys. I'm gonna try to trade. Let's see what we got. Gold's got a little pullback going on here. I want to buy the dip. I feel like I need to buy micro gold here in an account that I don't care about. I'm gonna call it the ugly duckling account. Gold's very close to all-time highs. Again, we had some news that I posted to the chat earlier this morning regarding the Bank of Japan being pretty hawkish. If we take a look at yields this morning here, yields are at 4.17% here, 4.17%. You know, so they're up a little bit since yesterday. Yields have spiked up a little bit, 4.17. They're not quite at the 4.2% they were ahead of the Fed meeting or whatever, right after the Fed meeting, but they're back up a little bit today at 4.174%. If we take a look at rate cut odds for next month here, it's about 78% likely that we're not going to cut rates next month. As of now, it's about 22% likely that we are going to cut. This would be a 25 basis point cut. Again, only about 22% likelihood of that as of now. And it is Friday, guys, so just know the news is a little light today. A little light. Remember, I did bought Oracle yesterday. Yeah, so the president said early this morning, I'm not sure when, maybe this was yesterday, that he wants one central source of approval will sign executive order to ensure AI operates within a single national framework. Bitcoin falling a little bit more here, down to 92.2s as we speak. There's greed. We're in a gold and silver bull market. Yeah, I mean, I think gold has a chance to break all-time highs today. It's really not that far away. All-time highs in the gold futures are right here. If you see this red line, I'll make it a big green line. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make it a big yellow line since it's gold. This line right here is gold all-time highs. Just under 4,400 is gold all-time highs. Very close. Very close. So we're getting close. You know, I think there's a chance if gold continues to run up, obviously we can break all-time highs. We'll see if it happens. Rivian, man, that's a stock I have not heard about lately. It's still basically where it was the last time I looked at it. Okay, Rivian's been sideways trending for years. All right, so I did enter a position here in gold. Micro gold. I'm up in it. I'm gonna take a piece off of here, I think. Yeah, just lock that in. See if we can keep running up. I'll put the NASDAQ up right here. But NASDAQ has basically been sideways since Wednesday. Yeah, silver's been ripping up as well here. Silver, 65 right now. Crypto went to a 5-year cycle because debt got extended a year, so it went from 4 to 5 year. Yeah. Yeah, the news is a little light today. Again, we did have the Bank of Japan specifically say, again, I don't know if it'll let me scroll up to it. Bank of Japan is going to be a little bit more hawkish than expected. They said specifically that the Bank of Japan said to see hiking cycle likely extend beyond 75 basis points and is said to be no closer to pinpointing the neutral rate. Any updated neutral rate range is still said to be wide according to Bloomberg citing sources. If we look at Japanese yields here, here's just the last 5 days of Japanese yields. They have increased a little bit since they said this. 1.951%. Yesterday they're a little bit lower, but they've been, if you look at like a monthly chart, you can see how much Japanese yields have been rising leading into the Bank of Japan rate decision with the carry dynamic going on. I believe it is December 18th. We are now red in our gold trade, but we're kind of flat since we already took some profit at the top up there. See if that continues. You trade micro silver now. Yeah, I'm in gold. I mean, gold's close to all-time highs, so I'm going to take a small trade in that context, like see if gold can continue to push. Bitcoin's still pushing down. It's at 92.179s right now, 92.179s. I'm going to see if my my stream will work here. Okay, now it seems to be working. Yeah, I don't know micro silver, the silver market, in terms of day trading it. I can day trade gold some, but I'm not the best at it. Yeah, it's Friday, guys. We don't have any economic data, I don't think. Let me make sure. I don't think we do. Oh. Yeah, no real economic data today. It's the 12th. We got Canadian building permits. Goolsby speaking at 10:35. We got some other Fed members apparently supposed to speak at like 8 and 8:30. I don't think any of them are big enough to really move markets like that. We do have some overseas news. Michael Burry is saying that the Fed's new Treasury buying plan shows banks are weaker than they look. He said that's not a sign of strength, but more so a sign of fragility. Yeah, it seems like a slow day too, to me as well. Which is fine. It's been a busy week. We've had a lot of stuff, Fed meetings, all that kind of stuff. So that's how it goes. Again, we're long in gold right now. I want to see if gold continues to break all-time highs. Again, just to put this into perspective, gold all-time highs are right here. Right here. Exactly. Gold all-time highs. So that is the all-time high in gold right here. We'll see if it hits it. Gold futures, spot gold, the all-time high might be a little bit different. So all right, guys. So Home Depot also doing good, man. I'm actually in the profit on that one. Love to see it. Gold. I think I gotta just give it some time here. I'm not really super concerned about it. I can set a stop loss on it. I'll set a stop loss way down here in case. But I want to give it time. I want to give gold a chance to like pull back a little bit and then move back up to retest these highs. NASDAQ again hitting that 200 exponential and just rejecting up there at 25,585s down to 25,560s. All-time highs in the NASDAQ are what? Low 26s, like 26.3 or something like that is what I remember. Yeah, maybe he'll tweet. I'm not sure. Again, y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We broke 168,000 this week. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Nvidia tried to go green on the day. You know, we had some big news earlier this morning that drove Nvidia down. Let me see if I can figure out what this was. Got too many windows up here. Here's bond yields in the Bank of Japan. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to look up why tech fell early today. AI spinning, Oracle earnings, worries about valuations is what they say this was from. Could be the Bank of Japan news that came out. Like, I see most of this drop happened at like 2:30 in the morning. I'm assuming that is overseas news. China's President Xi calls for opposing bullying in global affairs. I don't see anything else that might move markets. We had the India minister said India is going to start coal exports for the first time. China is planning to formulate standards for the metaverse industry. House GOP is going to advance healthcare bills without the ACA fix, according to Axios. China's market regulator said the draft regulation will combat unfair price behaviors. I'm trying to give this time. Bitcoin falling down. We're green. I mean, we're in a position here, but again, China is preparing as much as 70 billion in chip sector incentives. They're going to govern unfair competition on online platforms, they say. They're going to impose export licenses on steel products by January 1st. Yeah, so we have 4.3 million, or no, $4.3 billion worth of Bitcoin and ETH options expired today. We'll see where we head in that context. Gold bouncing back here. I'll let you guys know how this trade is going. I'm going to put the NASDAQ up and see if we can trade this one. Oh yeah, Broadcom. You're right. It's 100% Broadcom. Which is interesting because didn't Broadcom beat earnings, beat EPS, beat revenue, beat guidance numbers? So I assume Broadcom beat EPS and revenue numbers, no? Was I wrong there? Did they let me check Broadcom. So Broadcom posted earnings yesterday, big AI name. They posted EPS of 174, adjusted EPS of 195, beat the 186 estimate, sales of 18.01, beat the 17.49. So they mostly beat EPS and revenue. Here's Broadcom's numbers here. If you look at Broadcom here, they are down. That's probably what dropped the market. You are correct here. Look, here's the Broadcom numbers that showed up right there. Then they just turned. Fourth quarter semiconductor solutions revenue is 11.07 billion. They raised their guidance for the first quarter as well to 19.1 versus 18.39 billion expected. So it beat estimates, upped its dividend, and raised their guidance. Why did it fall down? Even like markets covered this yesterday. Wells Fargo adjusted price target. Weird. Yeah, so tech names fell yesterday. Broadcom beat fourth quarter estimates with 18.02 billion, 74% jump in AI sales. It dropped over 4% yesterday, though. Management did warn that the fiscal first quarter gross margins might drop, 1% because lower margin AI hardware now makes up a larger share of revenue, according to them. CFO Kristen Spears said the market scared the market a little bit by thinking that and projecting that the adjusted tax rate will rise from 14 to 16.5% next year due to global minimum tax rules and shifts where the company earns income. We also have the China fears from this. China's considering a new round of semiconductors incentives that could reach as much as 70 billion. It would rival the scale of U.S. CHIPS Act and underscores their push to reduce reliance on foreign suppliers of chips. So all of this stuff is probably scaring markets today, is what this is. And again, Broadcom is down. I might buy Broadcom, to be honest here. I bought, here's gold on the bottom. I bought Oracle the other day. Yeah, so I mean, there's some news. I mean, look, China's reducing their reliance on the U.S. They're giving chip incentives to domestic producers there. I mean, we already kind of knew this, but that might be scaring the semiconductor sector this morning. The minimum tax rate news is probably not good for Broadcom. I think that's the stuff that's pushing it down. Nvidia now technically red on the day at 180.70s. Bitcoin continues to fall. If you look below me right here, Bitcoin's still dropping right now. It's down to 92,000, 92K. I don't know. Broadcom, I have to look at it, see what the numbers for Broadcom are. Broadcom's up a lot, but it is down a lot from this. Let me do the PE ratio calculations real quick here. So Broadcom, let's calculate the PE ratio of Broadcom as of now after their new earnings report here. So Broadcom posted yesterday $1.95 EPS. Previous one was $1.69. Previous one before that was $1.58. Previous one before that was 160. Equals about 682. 682. Broadcom currently sitting at 382s. $382 divided by 682, right? So 682, yeah, gives Broadcom a PE ratio of 56. Now, it's not really something I'm interested in buying. PE ratio is a little bit too high for my taste here, to be honest. Just a little bit too high. We'll see what happens, but just a little bit too high for my taste here. What do you guys think? Is Broadcom worth the buy this morning? It's down. It is down, but I mean, it's down to the lows it was at on the 3rd of December. NASDAQ pulling back a little bit. Downward trending this morning on that news. Nvidia tried to go green on the day, though. PE ratio is the price to earnings ratio. The ratio of price to earnings. It's what the current price is relative to the earnings of the company. Like how much they earn versus what they're priced at. PE ratio. Hey, what's up, Brian? And again, we did have some China chip news this morning. We got the Bank of Japan might be hawkish. They don't know where their neutral rate is. Something they said earlier. That could shake markets a little bit. China's President Xi calls for opposing bullying in global affairs. We had some other news from them. They plan to formulate standards for the metaverse industry. The market regulator said the draft regulation will combat unfair price behaviors. They're issuing a draft on the auto industry's price compliance. Again, they're preparing as much as $70 billion in chip incentives. I'm assuming for domestic chips, right? So people are worried that's going to compete with Nvidia and other stuff. And I think this is driving some names down with it. Broadcom down on some of that stuff we just talked about. Not necessarily the chip news, but earnings, minimum universal tax rates news. AMKR. Yeah, AMKR is up a lot right now. My gold trade's not doing good right now. Not doing good. I want to see if it bounces at the 200 EMA. I'll probably just sit on it. I mean, I'm already green on net profits. So I think I'm just going to sit on that. Right? Doesn't that make more sense? I got a bunch of different sources. I wouldn't say I have a main source. I use a bunch of... Again, news is a little light. It is... It is Friday, after all. So. My gold's starting to go green on the day. All right, so I'm actually up about $100 in that original position on gold. I've already taken a lot of this off now. What is this, my third one? I'll show you guys this. Look. You love to see this. Maybe I'll add a little bit more to it. I don't know. What should I do? Maybe add to this. We are bouncing right at the 200 exponential. I've got this, but I've already scaled out of some position here. I will add back on a dip and then try to hold the rest, maybe break even. Go. Take another piece off up there. I'm telling you, dude, the 200 exponential moving average, guys. Like, I don't mean to sound like a broken record about this, but dude, we bounce so often there on a 1 minute chart. Like, look, 200 EMA right here. Like, exactly off of it. You can tell algorithms watch it too. I'm gonna go ahead. I want to hold this one longer, so I'm gonna hold this little 1 micro contract. We've got a large cushion built up on the day now, so I think I could probably be a little bit easier with this. God, I think gold is about to go down. I don't know. We're so close to all-time highs. Again, the all-time highs in gold, guys, are right here. This is the all-time high in gold. And so maybe we'll tap it, go over it for a second, and then come back down. I don't know. I really don't know. I will hold this break even and then maybe re-enter if it pushes higher, but there that goes. Here's the NASDAQ right here. NASDAQ's at 25.5s. Yeah, we got Paulson speaking at the Delaware Chamber of Commerce at 8 o'clock Eastern time, which is, what, 7 minutes from now? We'll see if that moves markets. We got the Fed's Hammock speaking at 8:30 at a realist roundtable series. There's going to be a Q&A from the audience on both of these, but Goolsby speaking at 10:35. Oh, man, I'm looking at this. We are red. Let me cut this. All right, we got out flat on the rest. We're still up really nicely. I might add back. It just depends. Yeah, Japan probably going to increase rates. We got news again this morning that the Bank of Japan, let me find the catalyst. Yeah, so basically with earnings yesterday, the president did block states from enforcing its own AI rules. Broadcom fell after earnings. It's down net. It's at 383s. Lululemon went up after results. Salesforce also raised prices. T-Mobile boost shareholder returns. And then, we got other news this morning that the Bank of Japan reportedly said to see hiking cycle is likely extending beyond 75 basis points and is said to be no closer to pinpointing the neutral rate. Any updated neutral rate range is still said to be wide, according to Bloomberg, citing sources. Look at the NASDAQ pop up here. I'm going to switch back to the NQ. Look at the NASDAQ pop. This has got to be some type of catalyst right now. Maybe. I don't know. It's a big green candle. Let me check this out. I would assume this is catalyst driven, but I'm not 100% sure. You also have to look at stocks. Look at Nvidia pop. I think this is Nvidia news, guys. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia up to 183s right now. Nvidia is evaluating raising production of its H200 AI chips due to strong Chinese demand, according to Reuters. This is the news that's moving markets right now. Again, Nvidia is evaluating raising production of its H200 AI chips due to strong Chinese demand via Reuters. Yeah, so again, Nvidia boosting markets. Again, the news just came out. Nvidia is evaluating raising production of its H200 AI chips due to strong Chinese demand via Reuters. Yeah, so again, this is big news. Nvidia's up to 182, so your Bitcoin bounced back some as well. Maybe I should have held that gold trade, but hey, how it goes. I sound like Drake? Top 3 worst guy to sound like, I guess. Yeah, looking at our poll numbers, I asked people, will gold break all-time highs today? 66% say yes, 34% say no. Yeah, again, Nvidia evaluating production of H200 AI chips due to strong China demand. See, we're not really holding here, though. We're kind of coming right back down on Nvidia here. We're at 182s. Bitcoin up to 92.3s. Again, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We do this live every day here. So if you want to know what's going on in markets, we'll tell you. Look at the volume increase here too. We'll see if Nvidia holds. Nvidia again has been in a sideways range between like 200 and 180, 175. So Nvidia has been in this range not just for the last few months here, right? But really longer than that if we take a look at it. Here's a weekly chart. Nvidia has been in this range basically for months. So it is up on the day though, and this does push it green on the day. It's not really benefiting some other names much, and a lot of the other names are flat, but I appreciate it, Jay. Thank you, man. Yeah, I think we're in sub-only mode, so I think you'll have to subscribe. What do you think of Netflix? I'm interested in Netflix. I don't know where it's gonna go. Am I holding Netflix? I am. I'm in Netflix right now. So I'm holding Netflix where we're at now. Getting into live sports, there's a lot of stuff that makes me optimistic about Netflix. But it's small just because there's a chance that the deal doesn't go through. I don't know how big of a chance it is. I think it'll probably go through. But there's a chance the Warner Bros. Discovery Netflix deal does it. So because of that, it's small just for risk management purposes. Yeah, if you're in chat, you're subscribed. All right, so NASDAQ coming right back down. I guess it's a good thing I got out of gold because it kept dipping. Fed's Paulson says Fed rate cuts have taken out some insurance against the job market risks, is more concerned about job risks relative to inflation. I'm assuming he means the rate cuts have created some insurance against labor weakness, but this is what the Fed's Paulson said. Again, it says Fed rate cuts have taken out some insurance against job market risks, is more concerned about job risk relative to inflation. So I want to buy this dip in the NQ. I don't know. Look at gold spike here. A little bit. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I just want to buy this dip. Ugh. There's the bounce. Thinking about buying the dip. See if that was right. Yeah, 65% think gold is going to break all-time highs today. 35% think no. Again, Nvidia released news a couple minutes ago that said that they are evaluating raising production of H200 AI chips due to strong Chinese demand. And this is from Reuters, which is a legit source. Goolsbee dissented over rate cut because he believed the Fed should wait for more information, particularly about inflation. You guys agree with Goolsbee? Goolsbee said waiting would also have provided the benefit of updated economic data. Chicago Fed's Goolsbee says he dissented over rate cut because he believed the Fed should wait for more information about inflation. Said little to suggest labor market decaying so fast that the Fed could not have waited until early next year to cut rates again. Inflation has been above the target for 4.5 years. Progress has stalled in business and consumers cite price worries as a main concern. Higher current inflation may have come from tariffs and proved transitory, but the danger is that it proves more long-lasting. Waiting would have been the more prudent course and would not have entailed much additional risk. More data shows stable economic growth, with the labor market only moderately cooling. Still optimistic that rates can come down a significant amount over the next year, but concerned about front-loading given the inflation of these last few years, according to Goolsbee. I know Goolsbee wasn't speaking until 8:30. Again, Fed Paulson says rate cuts have taken out some insurance. Yeah, Goolsbee essentially dissented, believed the Fed should wait for more about inflation. Was Goolsbee right? Was Goolsbee correct here? Think SPY hit 695 today? Maybe. I don't know. Paulson sees decent chance inflation will moderate into next year. Fed will have much more info in hand at the January FOMC meeting. Fed's Goolsbee says most of the data shows stable economic growth, with the labor market only moderately cooling. Paulson says inflation is too high, the job market bending but not breaking. Yeah. Everything is risky. I think we got risks on both sides, the inflation mandate as well as the labor market, obviously. And yeah, we will have more information in the January meeting. Specifically next week, guys, we got labor data on Tuesday, retail sales data on Tuesday, flash services and manufacturing data on Tuesday. We also have the ADP prelim jobs report on Tuesday. So 2 jobs reports, retail sales and flash manufacturing and services data, Tuesday, December 16th next week. Monday, we got the Empire State Manufacturing Index. Wednesday, we don't have anything, but Thursday, we got jobless claims, and the big boy Thursday is CPI inflation data. Again, Fed's Goolsbee, which was the hawkish dissenter, says his unease is about front-loading rate cuts too heavily. But that's the data that they're talking about, where we'll have before the January meeting is, again, CPI, retail sales, labor data. So we're going to have a lot of stuff before the next meeting, which is at the end of January. Again, Fed's Paulson says most of this year's high inflation is being driven by trade tariffs. Again, Goolsbee said, quote, "I'm still optimistic that rate cuts can come down a significant amount over the next year, but I am concerned about front loading given the inflation of the last several years." He said patience feels like a wiser choice. Yeah, gold is reacting well. I should have held. Best quote of my stream here is I should have held. Again, guys, it's Friday. Let me know what you're getting for Christmas in the chat right now. Paulson says credibility gives Fed responsibility, or I'm sorry, credibility gives Fed flexibility to respond to the economy. None of this stuff's moving markets. The real question is, what is the new Fed? Is the new Fed going to move markets as much as the old Fed? You know, we get a new Fed, probably Hassett is going to be the new Fed chairman starting in June. Will be the first FOMC meeting where it's probably going to be Hassett is the next Fed chairman. We'll get an announcement over that over the next few weeks, I think. Again, next week, the Bank of Japan on Thursday is set to hike rates for the first time in 11 months. According to the Nikkei Asia, yen carry trade unwinding is going to be there. So, Bitcoin struggling to break 95K. Yeah, Bitcoin's been in the 90s most of this week. You think SPY will hit 695s? It maybe. It might. It depends, but maybe. It's Friday. You got to take a little bit more caution, I think, into today, but maybe. Nvidia comeback. Yeah, Nvidia just had news this morning that said they're evaluating raising production of H200 AI chips due to strong demand in China, according to Reuters. Nvidia's up because of that news that said they're considering raising production of H200 chips because of increased China demand. Yeah, it's called circular financing, Doug. That's what they're calling it, circular financing. You know? Yeah, Nvidia just didn't really hold. I mean, it's kind of holding. Nvidia popped a little bit. It's not even that much, but it's a couple percent. We're honestly up really nicely today already, just based off of that gold trade we got in. We bought the dip in gold, and that worked out really well. We got a good cushion on the day. I should have held it, though, in hindsight, because it pushed up more, but hindsight's 2020. 200 exponential right here. I was gonna buy the Nasdaq down here too. If you guys remember saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about buying the Nasdaq," I didn't. Should have bought it. We're back up here from this. Again, one of the next big stories is the Japan rate decision next week. Labor report Tuesday. Thursday, we got the Japan rate decision and CPI inflation here in the U.S. So, I mean, I wouldn't say things are dumping, to be honest. I think things are mostly dumping from AI names. If you look at the Q, you look at the trend of it, we're pretty flat, to be honest. Right? I don't know if I would consider this dumping. You know? I think that's basically just flat. And this is mostly from like up and down, earnings, Fed decisions, indecision, no data until next week. We're just kind of chopping up and down right now. Gold almost at all-time highs though. Gold very close to all-time highs. All-time highs on gold are, and gold futures that is, here's gold, are 43.98. Again, 43.98, just under 44 is the all-time high in gold. It's right here. Very close to that. Very close to it. Market is about to pop. Chef, gold, silver, plat. Yeah, I was, again, my idea on gold is like, hey, I'm going to buy this dip and I'm going to ride it so it tests all-time highs today. And it did kind of the same, like, it basically did what I wanted it to, but I'm a huge wimp, guys. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm a huge wimp. Should have taken the trade. I was buying it down here. But, you know, thus is life. I still think it's going to test that all-time high right here. This big gold line is the all-time high in gold. NASDAQ back over the 200 exponential here as well. Nvidia's starting to creep up too. Should have bought it, guys. I should have bought it. I don't know why I didn't. You know. Sometimes you can just talk yourself out of a good trade. Yeah. All right, we are popping higher here. We're at 595s for the NASDAQ. Bitcoin, a little muted, low 90s. Gold, all-time highs, very close to it. Again, we did have Goolsby and Paulson speaking this morning. Goolsby basically said he dissented because he thought we should wait for economic data before we make decisions in the Fed for rate cuts. Look at that 600 level here. Gold's still creeping up. Yeah, I might buy another little dip here. We got a cushion. I might buy this dip right here. Maybe add a little bit to it since we have a cushion. Down to the 200 exponential at 581s. We got 2 contracts, but the range is small. We might take 3 and that's it. Go. Here we go, we're green. That's the green. I'll take 1 off there at this pop. Leave the rest. See what happens. Try to give us some time though here. What do we got? 15 minutes until 8:30. There we go. I'm gonna take another piece off up there just to lock it in. Nvidia looks like it's still trying to climb higher as well here. Oracle, Netflix, Amazon. A lot of this stuff's trying to stay green on the day. Apple's red. All right, this is going okay. We're up about 20 ticks here. Let's see if we get a little bit more. If we get higher. I'm worried we're gonna have chop though, so. I cut that right there, I think. Lock it in. Small little scalp here. It's Friday. I got my top step payouts. That's always a good thing. I don't want to buy this again, but it looks like I got out just in time there. Yeah, I mean, it's Friday, guys. We could be choppy today. That's very plausible. Very possible, I should say. I don't know what the Fed did with the rate cut. Makes me nervous. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think if we don't have data, they're going to go with the status quo. The status quo is rate cuts. I don't think they should do something that's going to shock markets. I think if they pause, markets are going to head down quickly, even more so than we might have dropped. And so I'm one of those people that think that the Fed's view of it is going to be private data shows weakness in labor. A 25 basis point cut is small. And, you know, we're not going to, if it's 90-something% chance that we're going to cut rates, I don't think the Fed's going to say, hey, I know most people think we should cut rates. Most people are pricing in a rate cut. But, like, let's pause and tank the market real quick. I just don't think the Fed's going to look at it like that. I think they're going to say, hey, a 25 basis point cut is small. We're not going to commit to further rate cuts. We're going to go meeting by meeting, see what the data looks like, and then make the decisions there. And I think that makes sense to me. But again, let me know what you guys think they should have done. He did get you with the D's joke. Gotta give him credit. They should have held long it is up, 20 years over 4. I disagree. Bitcoin back over 92.5s. All right, guys, 10 minutes until 8:30. Again, at 8:30, we got Canadian building permits. That's about it. I would like to hype it up and make you guys be like, ooh, 8:30, the big moment. Canadian building permits, but it's just not going to move markets. YouTube now allows creators to receive payouts in stable coins. I mean, I'm not going to choose to get my money in stable coins, but there's the option now, which is good. I like options. Options are great. Great decisions based off history is reactive, not proactive. Yeah, Bitcoin at 92.47s. NASDAQ kind of quiet. Again, we did have some news that Nvidia is considering increasing the production of H200 chips because of good demand in China, or more demand in China. Is this live or what is happening? No, this is not live, apparently. You know, I am in my mom's basement, and this is 3 days old, okay? And I just knew you would ask me that question, so I responded ahead of time. to that question. Yeah, gold is very close to all-time highs. Again, all-time highs in gold futures are right here. This big yellow bar right here is all-time high in gold futures right here. And again, I bought gold down here earlier. Made a little bit of money. I still think it might fill this gap to the upside to test all-time highs. You never know for sure. Nothing's 100%, but it's getting pretty close to all-time high levels. So, see what happens there. Paulson says the data on the economy are stale. Well, yeah, the government's been shut down. We don't have any new data. We're getting that data next week. The less stale data. This week's data, last week's data, is the top 3 stalest data ever. You know, we got September inflation data in December. You know, we got, what is it? September or August JOLTS report in December. And so, yeah, it's stale. Of course it's stale. ADP data is not stale, though. Jobless claims data is not stale, though. Jobless claims unemployment came out higher than expected, showing more people filing for unemployment. It was 236,000 unemployment claims week to week in the week ending last Saturday versus the previous, which was revised up as well, but was at 191, revised up to 192,000. And so jobless claims unemployment is not stale data. It's very recent data. That's why it's relevant. We covered this yesterday. Showed up, again, 236K. Higher than expected claims. More than last time, higher than expected. It's not 1 minute behind. It might be 1 minute behind if you don't hit the live button next to the play button. You know? We're not a minute delayed, bro. Get out of here. Come on now. Yeah, I'm watching. Again, I'm drinking coffee, hanging out. We're green. I'm gonna wait for good trades. So the Nasdaq is not giving us anything that is, close to exciting right now. We had some news, and now we basically stayed sideways for 7 or 8 minutes here. So just kind of barcoding a little bit. Not really the best price action to attack here. Good evening. I feel the market will crash for one reason that I was expecting. Maybe we would get a 50 basis point cut instead of 25, and I believe market makes pre-Christmas correction. I mean, I think you're wrong. I don't think you should have ever expected a 50 basis point cut yesterday. Who told you we would cut rates 50 basis points? Like, who are these guys putting out these outcome potentials? Because again, anybody that knows their stuff is gonna say, no, we're not cutting rates 50. You know? And again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. People like to make these big, bold predictions, especially on social media. Maybe they think it'll get them more attention. They're always wrong, though. So do you want to follow somebody that's always wrong? That's telling all these people these wrong things? You know, like, oh, we're gonna cut rates 50. You know, no, we're not. Look, Grant Cardone was even like, yeah, we're gonna cut rates 50 basis points. And I read it and I said, no, we're not, dude. With all the money you have, you should have known better. And so, again, we don't have any economic data. You know, like, why would the Fed say, you know what, let's be polarized, cut 50? Economic data is delayed. Makes no sense. It's not sensical, you know. No offense to you. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just saying I'm curious to I'm curious who skewed your opinion for a 50 basis point cut. Now, you could argue we might need a 50 basis point cut, and for that, it's a little bit more subjective. But I think in terms of the logic behind betting that the Fed actually is going to cut 50 basis points is much worse logic. Yeah, again, part of the problem is like when I look on social media and some of the people that are mad, again, I'm not attacking anybody. I think we should shame people who give out these weird predictions and they're always wrong. You know, I think that should be frowned upon. I think it's very easy to see what we're probably going to do ahead of the FOMC decision. And like, I get it. The cool thing now is for everybody to cover these Fed decisions that don't really know what they're talking about. And they're just kind of doing it to get views and attention. But telling people we're going to cut 50 basis points and then having people base their trades and all this stuff around something that is such a small percentage chance. I would say it's less than 0.5% chance we would have cut 50 basis points yet Wednesday. And so putting that out there like that's the base case or like that's a likely thing should be frowned upon because it's wrong and it's not even logical, you know. Yeah, the guy you banned, Pawn, he's just mad he lost money. You know, that's what it is. He's mad he bet on 50 basis point cut and lost. Cheers to him, you know. If this is my mom's basement, it's a nice basement, guys. It's a nice basement. I mean, I'm married with kids and actually don't live with my mom. It's obviously sarcasm, but that's a distinction I shouldn't have to make. But, you know. They say the sign of a healthy brain is being able to understand sarcasm. You know? Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm from the South, guys. We don't even have basements. It's too wet here in the South. I'm from Louisiana. We don't have basements here. No. You ever seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure? It's in the basement of the Alamo, and then they get to the Alamo, and they're like, dude, we don't have a basement here. We're in the South, sir. Same concept. Except I'm not the Alamo. Hey, bud. Love you, dude. Love you, buddy. Good day, man. Love you, bud. Alright, so Paulson says that the data on the economy is stale. I mean, I think that's obvious. Yeah, I mean, guys, listen. It's pretty quiet today. There's not a lot of news. Market's kind of sideways. Not a lot of big news. We've already repeated basically what we saw over and over again, so it's just kind of boring today. Again, Nvidia considering increasing the H200 chip production because of increased demand in China. That news came out, I believe it was Reuters that reported it. I think China is going to spend $70 billion on domestic chips. That news came out this morning. Broadcom BDPS beat revenue, raised guidance, and it dropped yesterday. And yeah, we had Goolsby basically say he dissented because he thinks we should have paused. Canadian building permit data showed 14.9% versus an expected decline of 0.9%. I'll put that data up. Yeah, again, Schmid says they dissented against a rate cut all this week, but not much has changed since last meeting when we also dissented. Gold, guys, look at gold here. Gold's getting very close to all-time highs. It's the land of Canada. How far behind? We didn't get October data for inflation. The government was also closed half of November. And so the inflation data that we're getting is going to be delayed. We are getting November data on the 18th. Thursday next week. So, yeah, it's delayed, you know. Yeah, silver, gold flying. Yeah, AVGO down. Broadcom down from earnings. Gold, again, very close to all-time highs. I should have held, guys. I should have held. Elite announced that following interim analysis, one of their biodrug combination therapy with chemo did not improve relative to some other stuff. Biotech news. Apple's still falling down a little bit here, though. Look at Bitcoin down to 92.253s. Tilray did a reverse split. They're now 10x the share price, but they're not actually gapping up. It's a funny story. When I first started trading, okay, I got involved with penny stocks. I thought I was going to be rich trading penny stocks. And I'm like, you know what? I know what'll make me rich. Day trading penny stocks. Ridiculous. Again, most of it's due to like gurus online trying to slang courses at unsuspecting, naive traders and investors who don't have a big bankroll, so they want to believe that you can day trade penny stocks successfully and make all this money. You basically, it's, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's incredibly difficult. Goolsby just said, cannot assume current inflation will be transitory via CNBC. But yeah, so point is, I thought I was going to day trade penny stocks. Instead, just lost a bunch of money. Maybe there's some people that can do it well. I'm not one of those people. But during that period of time, I was holding some penny stock, terrible company, and it did like a 30-to-1 reverse split. And so me not understanding what a reverse split was, I was like, hey guys, I just 30x'd my money. This thing gapped up 30x. Was pretty disappointed to find out that I did not just 30x my money, and that instead the company was just so weak that it had to do a reverse split to stay above the minimum listing requirements of the NASDAQ. And it hurt to find that out. But yeah, with that said, Tilray did a 10-to-1 reverse split. Or a 1-to-10 reverse split. Whatever this wording is. Hey. With QE today, it's not the same thing as QE. It's more so, it's similar, but it's not the same thing. They're not going to call it QE. I love you. I just kissed your glasses. You know? Yeah. I know, guys. I know it was muted. Okay. No, we don't have any data today. Very small, miss small. Maybe Tilray runs. I don't know how a reverse split could ever be seen as a positive, optimistic thing. But hey. Yeah, it's like QE. It's baby QE. Yeah, it's still an injection, but it's not considered QE. Yeah, so Bank of Japan came out this morning in some carry trade news. So the Bank of Japan did come out this morning and they said that they see the hiking cycle likely extending beyond 75 basis points, and is said to be no closer to pinpointing where the neutral rate will be. Any updated neutral rate range is still said to be wide, according to Bloomberg, citing sources. Guys, I lost the car key. All right, I'll be back in less than a minute. I gotta go find the car key. Yeah, so give me a minute. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Anything happened since I've been gone? The Nvidia news is that they're considering increasing the production of H200 chips because of increased demand in China, according to Reuters. But popped Nvidia right here earlier this morning at about 650 or so. How rough it's going to get when Japanese Fed hikes rates. Yeah, I think they're in my shorts, guys. They were in my shorts. I think that's going to be one of the big catalysts next week. We got a lot of stuff next week. We got labor report Tuesday, jobless claims, and CPI inflation Wednesday. We got the ADP report on Tuesday as well. So Tuesday morning, 8:15, we got the ADP prelim labor report. 8:30, we have retail sales and the NFP report, the labor report. Thursday, we got the Bank of Japan rate decision and CPI inflation. And we got more stuff throughout the week. We got like the Empire State data and more. So it's also rollover week. Yeah, 100%. We just got a lot of stuff going on. You guys bullish or bearish on all that stuff? So Fed's hammock says the labor market has been gradually cooling, but inflation is above target. That sounds like a stagflation statement. What happened? There we go. Well, the Bank of Japan rate decision is going to be basically in the middle of the night. Goolsby says prices are one of the main concerns that businesses and consumers have about the economy right now. Says the labor market has been gradually cooling. Inflation's over target. Fed's Paulson says I think 2% is the goal right now for inflation. I kind of stay away from options. I just buy shares if I need to. Expected a tech dip. Maybe we get one. I'm looking at gold today, to be honest. Here, look at Nvidia. So Nvidia has kind of filled most of the gap from this news. Goolsby says, I don't think the Fed is preparing for an onslaught from the president. Paulson says, people in markets believe we are going to get 2% inflation. It is really, really important that we bring inflation all the way back to 2%. Fed's Paulson also says the key thing is not the level, but price stability. Says balancing both sides of mandate is challenging, and that Goolsby also said gas prices is one of the main concerns that businesses and consumers have about the economy right now. Markets are really, it's Friday, guys. Markets are flat. Yeah, I'm in crypto. Tax loss harvesting season plus Japanese rate cuts. Or rate hikes is kind of bad. President is expected to direct agencies to reschedule cannabis today. I'm not gonna hold my breath for that. Again, look. Morally, I think cannabis should be legalized. I think there needs to be an even standard of legalization. If alcohol, a much more objectively harmful drug, regardless of which stat you look at, is alcohol is objectively more harmful. You know, fatalities, everything, just worse, just obviously worse, right? If that's sold at gas stations, you can't turn around and say, hey, weed is bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's nonsensical. It's hypocritical. It causes more problems. The prohibition of it causes more problems than legalizing it, you know, and that's what people refuse to admit. And really what we're seeing is just a lot of lobbying against legalization for selfish reasons by corporations. But there's so much lobbying against it. And politicians on both sides have gotten so much money from those lobbyists that they might say they're going to legalize it and then nothing happens. And they've been doing this for 15 years, you know. They've really been doing it for longer, but yeah. So again, my point is I'm skeptical that's going to really... I'm skeptical. All right, we're starting to creep down here. Point is, I'm not bullish in cannabis stocks. It's a long-winded way of saying I'm not really bullish in cannabis stocks. Right, exactly right, Pawn. That's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, law enforcement lobbies against it. The prison industry lobbies against it. And obviously, like, you know. Yeah. Gold pulling back here. Hit 43.81s now on a big dip. I kind of want to buy the dip, but it would have to be a short-term day trade here, guys. Hey, what's up, Chef? DGC on Moon? I don't know, bro. Look, I've been around markets long enough to see some of these swings. People usually get optimistic and nothing ever happens, unfortunately. Yeah. And again, for moral reasons, I think it should be legal. But Yeah, again, gold pull it back here. I was thinking about buying this dip in gold, but I never did. Cannabis can be a gateway to other drugs. Maybe. But I also think that cannabis is a gateway to other drugs because it's illegal. And, you know, eventually that illegal drug dealer is going to be like, hey, I got this stuff also. Right? And boom, it's a gateway drug. Legalized and regulated, you're not going to have that dynamic of it, really. And so... Alright, Nasdaq's pushing up. Gold pushing back up here. I should have bought the dip. Exactly, Wally. That's the only reason it's a gateway, you know. All right, so Nasdaq up to 593s right now, 593s. Nasdaq's getting some strength here. Fed's hammock says novel that a Fed governor retained a connection to the White House. Fed will have better visibility after new data. Says independent central banks deliver better outcomes. Says drop in inflation should be detectable in the first quarter of the year next year. Very grateful government data is returning. Goolsbee says take some comfort in market-based measures of inflation, a source of optimism about the path of price increases. Hammock says lack of data makes reading inflation harder to do. We got Hammock and Goolsbee speaking right now. Still. Goolsbee's been speaking for a minute as well. The Nasdaq back over 25,600s. I mean, of course it is, though. It doesn't matter what most people think. Of course it is. Caffeine is as well, you know. By the textbook definitions, you know what I mean? 25,600s. Yeah, Big Short's a great movie. Hammock said it's novel that a Fed governor retained a connection to the White House. It's a boring Friday today, though, guys. Not much going on. Nasdaq did pop up a little bit. I don't think there's any real news from it. Could be an individual stock related. Let's see, Apple. All right, guys. Oracle at 197.50s here. Again, we're going to be day trading live today. It's a boring day, man. We don't have much going on. We don't have any economic reports. Again, I'm watching gold here. Gold's the only interesting part of the day, I think. Gold's on a dip. I might buy this little dip in gold here. See what happens. Gotta be small, though. You know what? We're gonna take a little bitty position here. We're gonna start small and maybe add to this if we get, I mean... See if we bought gold. That's okay, Chris. Alright, I'm going to add to this position now. There we go. I'm going to take half of that off right there and just lock the profit in from this trade. And let's see if we can keep popping up some more. There we go. I'm gonna cut it right here. Look, we're just scalping these moves right now. I bought the 200 exponential dip right here. I think it might continue back up, and we might buy another pullback here. But very short-term trade. No, we don't have any economic reports. None, basically, today. We had Canadian building permits that were stronger than expected show up earlier. We got some Fed members speaking. The blackout period by the Federal Reserve blackout period is over. You know, basically the blackout period means they can't talk about economic outlook and projections and the market and the economy. So that period is over now. So we got a lot of Fed speakers. That's why Hammock has been speaking, Goolsby's been speaking, Schmidt has been speaking, and more. Paulson sees more risk to the labor market. Goolsby cites need for more data and dissent against the cut. China's overall goods trade surplus surged 21% year over year to a record 1.1 trillion in the first 11 months of this year. It's higher than the last full year record of 990 billion. Their trade surplus has tripled since 2019. So again, essentially what this means is that China's increasing trade with non-US partners to compensate from the, you know, stuff earlier in this year. I'm gonna put here's gold. I'm gonna put the NASDAQ back up. Yeah, I saw that considering increasing production news. We'll see if they do or not. You know, I'm getting differing things from Nvidia though. Like in some reports, they're saying, "Oh well, like our China business is pretty low," and then in others, they're like, "Oh well, now China, you know, now we're considering increasing production because of China." So I'm hearing two different things from Nvidia in that context. Like one of the things is them saying, "Hey, like the China business isn't big for us," and then on another instance, they're saying, "Hey, you know, the China business is so big, we're considering increasing production." And so, I don't know. What are you doing physical therapy for? I skipped PT. I was supposed to do it at the end of this week. I trained jiu-jitsu instead yesterday. It's kind of like physical therapy. NASDAQ still pushing higher though. Look at the NASDAQ at 615s. White House AI advisor Krishnan says we will be working with Congress to work on a single national framework for AI via a CNBC interview. So this is coming out just now. White House AI advisor Krishnan says we'll be working with Congress to work on a single national framework for AI, according to CNBC. Again, Nasdaq's pumping higher here. Look at this move. Get Nvidia at 182s. Nasdaq up to 625s. Got any comment on the Burry tweet? Hammock says, hold on real quick. Hammock says they have every confidence the next chair will be focused on 2% inflation target. Hammock said inflation is too high, stuck closer to 3% than 2%. Says weakening dollar reflects inline shift by investors. Seeing some softening on the labor side of the economy, according to Hammock. Says committed to achieving Fed's 2% inflation target. Price pressures have been too high. Weaker dollar this year was not about moving away from the currency. It's inline shift by investors instead. Now you're talking about Burry here. I don't see a new tweet by Burry. I see this one. Hey, nice, Kelly. Good job. Yeah, I mean, I tore my MCL. It was a partial tear, though. Wasn't that bad. Oh, so you're talking about when Burry said the Fed is now buying treasuries again, 40 billion of bills a month. With a sense of humor. We have a new acronym to learn RMPs, reserve management purchases. The last line of the article is notable. However, given the stubbornness of the recent repo market volatility, Alphabet will be surprised if the Fed doesn't avail a dose of temporary open market corrections. If U.S. banking system can't function without a $3 trillion in reserve life support from the Fed, that's not a sign of strength, but a sign of fragility. 2.2 trillion pre-23 banking crisis. Temporary BTFP support became load-bearing in 2007. It was 45 billion with a B. Let's say banks are getting weaker too fast. Seems that every crisis now the Fed expands its balance sheet permanently or guarantees a bank funding crisis. No wonder stocks are doing well. On CNBC, you'll hear recommendations to buy bank stocks because they are so overcapitalized and the economy is improving, but I don't in general. For the amounts of 250K FDIC limit, I keep cash in treasury, money market funds. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's bullish necessarily. He's basically shaming the need for it and the standard of it, I think. But hey, nice L or nice L. Congrats, dude. You guys red or green this week so far? 625 level is holding. Kind of want to buy gold again right here, guys. What do you guys think? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to buy gold. I might add a little bit to it. If we can. Take 2 right now and leave it at that. We get a little pop up here. There we go. Good. If it keeps pushing higher for gold now. How much time we got until the opening? But we got 30 minutes. Okay. I'm gonna take half of this off up there just because I can. Ollie market bets OpenAI and Google are reportedly going to raise insider trading suspicions. All right, so Hammock said, I'm hearing that firms are managing payrolls through attrition. Says Fed spending a lot of time studying AI. Local contacts describe low hire, low fire job sector. All right, I'm going to cut it right there. We got a very large cushion now. Read every day this week. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Red, red, red. Sounded to me like he's softening up to the idea they would just keep bringing it upward because they can. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's what he's saying too. Bitcoin coming back down though. It's under 92,300s here. Or who my dogs are barking at. All right, guys. Friday. We're gonna be day trading live. Should have held that gold trade, guys. Look at this push up in gold here. I mean, I made like enough money on gold. I'd rather take small positions and get slivers of moves and get out versus the risk of holding it. So exporters are selling 132,000 tons of soybeans to China, according to USDA. Hammock says would prefer for Fed policy to be a little bit more restrictive than the current level. Right now, Fed policy is right around neutral. He said job market break even is greatly reduced. Said Fed's decision this week was complicated. Governor Stephen Moran is going to be doing an inflation outlook speech at Columbia University on the 15th on Monday at 9:30 in the morning, right around the opening bell. So just understand that for Monday, guys. Outside of that, I don't think we have any like Powell speeches this week. What's the Fed minutes report? Okay. Yeah, I mean, guys, listen. I'm not a financial professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. If you want to check out Top Step, it's a great way to help support the channel. I'll put the link up if you haven't already. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much, guys. Again, no PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, gold, commodities. Very similar to day trading stocks. It's like a souped up demo account. And most day traders lose. It makes no sense to fund your own account thousands of dollars just to probably lose it. Instead, limit your risk. $50 a month. You fail, it's not the end of the world. And they recently reduced activation fees and more universally. There's a lot of good stuff going on there. I'll put the link up. You can help support the channel that way. I mean, I trade on Top Step. I trade on Toss. Again, I'll pin this to the top of the page. It's a slow day, man. We're just not really getting much. It's Friday. No economic data like we have had a lot of this week. So, a little bit more boring. Still watching Hammock's been speaking a lot. He said it's not obvious that inflation pressures are just from the tariffs. Nasdaq is pushing up some. Gold is as well. Nvidia also. I mean, Blaze, I think he should reclassify cannabis. Again, 20 minutes left. News is kind of light today, guys. There's just not much going on. All right, Nasdaq dipping down. The 625 level we have on this chart right here is following. Bitcoin's still falling as well. Broadcom starting to bounce back up. I didn't end up buying the dip in it. I did buy the dip in Oracle though. Bro, what's with all these news sites trying to make you pay for them now? Like, every news site you go to, they're like, hey, you got to pay $3 a month or whatever. And I'm not doing it. Not in the age of AI would I do that. Again, the president's business is to significantly ease federal restrictions on cannabis. Tilray jumped. Canopy growth jumped. He's expected to tell agencies to reclass cannabis as Schedule 3. They reported yesterday such a move would allow their companies to fall under different tax regulations. Hey, thank you, S&P. I appreciate the donation, brother. Thank you, sir. Yeah, all of them do it now. It's crazy. It's like one of them started to do it, now all of them do it. They got that FOMO. They think they're missing out on money. No, the stream's not delayed. Bitcoin is down. I mean, it's not pumping. It's at 92.224s. This is Bitstamp as well, so this is like most real time. Yeah, I mean, I live in Texas, and I like Texas. Don't get me wrong. Like, Texas is great. Texas is great. But I would much rather have, like, ballot initiatives here versus leaving it to the politicians to make the decisions for things. Now, sometimes ballot initiatives can be emotional as well, but I think I would rather have ballot initiatives than what we have here in Texas. All right, Nasdaq's coming back down here. This is mostly Nvidia driven. Nvidia had some news that basically the China orders were pouring in for H200 chips. They're considering raising production on H200 chips because of increased orders from China, and this is what originally spiked Nvidia here, right? But since then, Nvidia hasn't really held those gains, and now it's starting to dip down a little bit, and I think that's what's probably pushing the Nasdaq down a little bit here as well. Gold, on the other hand, is very close to all-time highs. All-time highs on gold are 43.98. So we are currently at 43.77. So we're very close to all-time highs in gold. It's possible to break that at the opening bell. We'll see if we do. Yeah, I think I talked to my friend about it. USAR, he wanted to buy USAR before it went to 40s. He wanted to buy it when it was like 12 or 13. And it's not that I talked him out of it. I still feel bad. I told him I didn't know. I told him I didn't know the company, didn't know the sector, didn't know what this was going to do. And sometimes these things can be buy the rumor, sell the news, high risk, high reward type of dynamic. So make your own decision. I'm not really going to try to influence it. And he chose not to buy it, and then it went up from $13 up to $44. I kind of felt bad, but at the same time, I told him the truth, which is that I just didn't know. It ended up dipping all the way back down to $10 afterwards, so definitely volatile, but yeah, just not my style. I still felt bad though. Nasdaq still coming down. I almost want to buy the NQ here. Should I? No, we're dipping under 600 a little bit too fast here. Although it seems like a reasonable pullback level, but this is too fast of a dip. I'm trying to see if we have any breaking news. Nvidia shares rise as company weighs boost to H200 chips. We saw that already. Michael Saylor tweeted. Fed's Hammock says, I would like more visibility in private credit. He said private credit doesn't appear large enough now to create systemic risks. Yeah, look at the Nasdaq dip here quickly. Bitcoin dipping here quickly. We got 14 minutes into the opening bell, chat. 14 minutes. Yeah, I mean, again, I dislike all the politics, both sides. I'm just not really a fan. I'm not going to wrap my head around that stuff too much unless it impacts markets, which it sometimes does, and so I end up talking about it more. I mean, I'm a capitalist, right? But I'm pretty neutral on all that stuff. I would say I'm a moderate. You know, I'm somewhere in the middle, which makes people hate me more for some reason. I don't get it. But yeah. All right, guys, we are at 25,590s. The 200 exponential at 25,590 here. $92 twos for Bitcoin. Ash, let's be a little bit less insulting. You know. Friend. Yeah. Bitcoin can be financial freedom. I mean, look, I like Bitcoin. Maybe I'm just a bull in Bitcoin, but I like gold as well. I think gold's the single best inflationary hedge historically. Nasdaq still falling down though here, guys. So, speaking of hedges, Nasdaq dipping down. It's at 25,590. We're right at the 200 EMA though. That's usually a nice little bounce level. The problem is we're only about 11 minutes into the ahead of the open, so we'll see what happens. It is Friday. Not so. Yeah, good quote. People were talking about the Big Short earlier. A good quote from the Big Short is that it's not the... I don't know if it's... Let me see. Hold on. Let me figure out the exact quote before I butcher it. I think it's not the truth that gets people in trouble. It's the thing that people know for sure that just isn't so. What is it? It ain't what you don't know that gets you in trouble. It's what you know for sure that just isn't so. Yeah, that's the quote. So I did butcher it, but that's okay. Nasdaq bounced right at 200 exponential again. I should have bought it. Nvidia is bouncing a little bit at, at 180, 150 or so. Look at this Nasdaq pop here. Powdered sugar is delicious. I don't want a large farva. I want a GD liter of cola. That's my favorite quote from the movie. I don't know why. I think it's because it's such a dumb quote. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin, the single best asset in terms of appreciation in the world over the last, what, 30 years? Or maybe ever? I have to look up. My bias of the day is neutral. It's Friday. We had the Fed meeting. Markets are flat. I'm neutral on the day. I don't really have a bias. I'll see what the opening bell brings in 9 minutes. Netflix has rebounded it pretty nice this morning, though. Gold pulling back it here. Is the time to buy the dip in gold. Look at Bitcoin pop. Bitcoin's up to 92.35s. This is the 200 exponential right here. That's the 200 EMA. That's what I'm looking at. Again, hit the like button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. Eight minutes. Chat, 8 minutes. What's your bias for the opening bell? Let me end this poll. I asked people, will gold break all-time high? 66%. Say yes. Let's do another poll. Are you bullish or bearish for the opening bell? Alright, so are you bullish or bearish for today's opening bell? Let me know in chat. Let me know in the poll, which is now live. Again, Nvidia is still dipping down. Look at this drop in Nvidia. So Nvidia under the 200 EMA and the volume weighted on a 1 minute chart. Hammock is still watching. He said, I'm watching to see if price increases come from delayed tariff effect. Says economy will get a boost from fiscal stimulus. Again, Nvidia is said to be considering ramping up H200 chip production after big orders flow in from China, according to them. And this is, the source was Reuters. Bull today, it's all over. Bullish, bull. Bearish, rug pull. What are you getting for Christmas, guys? Let me know in chat. The problem with Christmas gifts and me is I don't really need anything, you know? Like, it's hard to figure out what I need for Christmas. I don't really want anything. Today, we did not have a PPI inflation report. No PPI report today. All we had was Fed members speaking today. PPI was what, last week? What was PPI? ECE was last week. I don't know when PPI was last. A few weeks ago. Buy a Steam machine? I'm assuming you're talking about the Steam handheld that's like $1,000 or whatever. You know, the problem is I bought my son a computer last year. He used it maybe one time. You know? He's more of a console gamer. I tried to get him on computers, but he's more of a console gamer. Nothing I can do there. But maybe I'll get myself an actual Steam machine that blows out steam, and then I could walk into the stream like John Cena, you know? Maybe that's what I'll ask for. I was a console gamer, you know? So he's just walking in my footsteps here. All right, guys. Hey, we got 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left. Kind of a quiet day. You guys like the Steam ID idea, huh? I still play video games. I play Halo, MLB The Show, UFC 5. You know, a little bit of Call of Duty. Like, I play with friends. I play with friends that I've known for a long time, usually, like old friends. And so yeah, those RAM prices have been increasing, dude. I was looking at 64 gigs of RAM. It was like $900, dude. Like 32 will do all the stuff I need right now. Even for me, where I could write off the purchase. 32 is gonna be fine. 64, almost $1,000. I can't justify that. It's hard. It's a hard thing to justify. I got about 30 tabs open right now. You know, I don't really need 64. I'll play Infinite with you, Pawn, if you want. They say Master Chief Collection has more players, which it does. But I'm better at Infinite, to be honest. It's been a while since I played Halo 3, you know. All right, guys. Hey, we got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. All right, guys. NASDAQ dipping a little bit into the opening bell here. We'll see what happens. Friday. Remember, it is Friday. Less than 2 minutes. Netflix popping back up. You love to see it. Oracle's falling down. You don't love to see it. I'm still green on my Oracle position, but it rebounded enough over the last few days. Halo 5 was the worst Halo. I liked Halo 4, honestly, and I know that's like a controversial take. I liked Reach in Halo 4 over the last few decades. My favorite of all time was Halo 3. But when I try to play that now, I just get beat up, so I don't play it that much. All right, guys, here we go. We got a minute and a half, about a minute actually into the opening bell. All right, guys, we got 45 minutes. Netflix popping up. It's at 95.5s right now. 95.5s for Netflix. Head of the opening bell. Again, we're green on the day. We've got a very large cushion on the day here. Again, I'm going to be watching gold. Gold is very close to all-time high, so we have it up today. We got 20 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're on 2x speed. You'll be caught up to the opening bell, especially if you hear the opening bell delayed. Hit the live button. You'll catch up. All right, guys, here's the bell. Good luck today. Good luck. See the NASDAQ come back down here. So the NASDAQ is falling. There's the open. Oracle and Netflix rebounding a little bit, but Nvidia is down some here. See the NASDAQ fall. Gonna wait for the opening bell to settle a little bit first here, but the NASDAQ just dipped. Bouncing at 525s here. The NASDAQ just cracked lows at the opening bell and then retraced all the way back up. But don't get it twisted. We are at lows on the NASDAQ. I am kind of tempted to short this. But we're only a minute into the day, so I have to kind of wait here. We'll see. We'll see. Again, NASDAQ opened red. Trying to see what's dropping. This is a good thing I didn't short. Nvidia's back up to 182s here. Bitcoin's popping back up. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. I saw RAM prices at a store yesterday or a few days ago, doing some Christmas shopping, and I was like shocked. I was like, dude, $1,000 for 64 gigs of RAM. That's crazy. I don't need 64 gigs that bad. No. All right. So again, we're up to 182s in Nvidia. Bitcoin's bouncing all the way back. Gold's bouncing at the 200 exponential. That 525 level held, man. Look at that. I kind of want to buy this dip now. Hold on. How much time we got? We got 2 minutes in the open. I gotta wait. Although it looks good for a dip buy, but I gotta wait here. Not an investment professional though. Don't copy me. We'll see if, again, my rule is I gotta wait because even if it looks good, there's a lot of variance for the open. Treasuries are rising here. They're flying up. Or yields, I mean. Treasuries are sinking. Probably on the increased supply. Yields are spiking. Again, we're only about 3 minutes into the day. All right, guys. So we are bouncing here. Nvidia up to 182.50s here, 182.50s. Yeah, I haven't traded yet. I buy gold right here. You know what? I'll give it a second here. I'll look for a dip, honestly, right here. The NASDAQ. I'm gonna buy this dip right here. Ah, got it a little late. There we go. Nice. All right, I'm gonna cut this immediately and just get out right there and lock into that profit. You'll love to see it. I might add more to my meta position if it keeps dipping too. I mean, I'm already green in this position. My average price in meta is 603s, believe it or not. So, I might keep buying it if it keeps dipping. No, I don't know. I'll wait though. Again, I might buy this dip in. Starting to push higher here. Happened that 200 EMA again. Still kind of want to buy this. It looks bullish to me, but I might be wrong. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. Yeah, there's the move up. Maybe I should have taken it, but alright. Alright, so I just took a long position here. I might regret this. We've got such a large cushion on the day that we can basically be kind of small here. There's a pop. I'm going to cut it at my level right there and get out. You'll love to see it. I don't want to short this now, though. See if that's the right move. On my main account that we've been trading on today, we're doing pretty good. Today, specifically, we're running 78% accuracy on my trades today. What was the most challenging thing you had to overcome personally in your early streaming days? I mean, streaming's difficult, man. Everybody wants to do it now, and I get it, but I got in early at the right time, you know? So, I think it's hard to put yourself out there originally, you know? I think, you end up... Like, when I first started, I didn't show my face. I talked with, like, a customer service voice, you know? Eventually you become more comfortable with it, but it's difficult. It's saturated right now, though. It really is. Again, meta's still dipping down. I should have held that long, guys, but that's all right. Markets are starting to push up. Again, I ended up switching accounts to a different account here just because I'm so green on the other one. I'm short right now. I want to see if we come back down here. There we go. I'm going to cut it right there. So far, so good. See what we do on the rest. Green on 3 different accounts today, though, which is good. Like I got out of that short just in time here, just in time. No, I like streaming. I don't like editing videos. People like my videos, but they say, wow, John, you've got such great videos. No, I'm just joking. People like the videos I do generally, but I hate editing. It's kind of like writing. I don't like writing either. Good thing, because writing is going to be obsolete in a lot of areas because of AI. So. Short this again, I think, right here. We got a cushion in this one. There we go. We got the pullback here so fast. So flat on the day, though, but whoa. All right, I'm gonna cut it right there. Yeah, what I do every day in these accounts, and again, these are Top Step funded accounts, so if you want to check out Top Step, I'll put the link up. Great way to learn. Most day traders lose. But we are green. But again, I'll put the link up. Great way to learn how to day trade. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. I get paid by them. I don't even claim to be a good trader. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. All that good stuff. Here's the link. Check them out. But the way I build these cushions up is like I start small. If you see me, I scalp. I build up a small cushion on the day. Once I have that cushion, like a reasonable cushion, I scale up my size and I take larger risks. You know. Oh man, look at this drop right here. Trying to see if there's news. What a drop. Weird. I don't see any news. Emotion. Why do people resort to calling people dumb for buying an asset they disagree with? Emotion. People are emotional. If they missed out on the Bitcoin run, those are usually the biggest Bitcoin haters, are the ones that missed out on the run. It makes sense. I might be mad if I was them too, you know. Look at this. I'm gonna short this again. We're gonna take some larger risks now. Take half off. Add a little bit more to this here. Take that off now. And get out of here. Alright. Yeah, I don't see any news causing the drop. I really don't know why that drop happened. I see Goldman Sachs setting the S&P price target at 7,600 on CNBC, but Netflix doing really well today. Yeah, I mean, we're up hundreds and hundreds today. I got this account that I've got a decent cushion on, so I can start taking larger risk. And so what I'll probably do is the next trade I take will be a little bit larger size. And we'll see what happens here. I might buy this 550 level if we get close to it, though. But I got to be careful because we are close to the lows of the day here. So I don't want to get caught in a push down to test these lows. But I think sometimes we can retrace up quickly. I might miss it here. We don't really have any economic data today, so just 550s. I'm gonna wait. We're too close to the lows in hindsight. If we get like a liquidity grab up, back up here, maybe. All right, so look, I'm in 3 contracts. I'm gonna take some off here, take some off here. Oh, dude, I'm short somehow, dude. I went the wrong direction, and I'm green. Hold on. I didn't even mean to do this, dude. I didn't mean to short right here. I'll add to it, I guess, since we got such a large cushion on the day here, but it's risky now. But give me the breakdown. There we go. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than skillful, guys. That's all I'm saying. There we go. If we can crack lows. Yeah, we're up about $500 right now, I think. Something like that. I'll have to go back and look. You love to see it. I'm gonna switch accounts now again. Go to a different account if I can. Yeah, I was trying to go long right there, and it went down. I'd love to act like I'm skillful because of it. But I was actually trying to go long right there, and then it broke down. Accidentally went short somehow. I don't know why. Again, luck is better than skill, guys. All right. I mean, it was already a green day. But, yeah. The long might have worked up here, too. Look at this. They'll break it down here, guys. Look at this. Yeah, I mean, I'll show you the stats on these accounts, and then I'm probably getting out of here for the weekend. You guys be safe today, all right? Here's one account. We only had one trade on this other account. Small, but green nonetheless. I will take it. Green is good. Again, we had one trade on this on one account. We made money in it. That's cool. Another account, we had 78 win percentage, profit factor of 2.23 to 1. We had 18 winning trades, 5 losing trades on another account. That's good. On another account, we had 81% win percentage. And this one, you can kind of see the stats here. Small, but green, like 81%. Profit factor of about 9.65 to 1. I don't know if we had any losing trades. Let me see. That one. Check this one. We had a little bit of losing, but it wasn't much. And there's the break of lows. And even my ugly duckling account, we're very green on. That's one of the accounts we're really green on today, too. So I'll take it. Green is good. Again, check out Top Step. You want to help support the channel. I'm going to get out of here early today, guys. It's the weekend. I got stuff to do, people to see. All right. Y'all be good. Again, check out Top Step. You want to help support the channel. Link is pinned at the top of the chat. They're a sponsor of mine. Genuinely useful for traders. Genuinely. Check them out. A green day does keep the doctor away. But again, I'm gonna bow out for the day here. Y'all be good. Have a great day. Again, next week we got labor report, retail sales, ADP prelim, jobless claims, CPI inflation, Empire State manufacturing data, and more. So next week is gonna guide the Fed in January and beyond. So we'll see what happens next week. Y'all be safe. Again, remember, I am not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money, guys. Understand all this stuff on screen, can't guarantee anything. As soon as I close the stream, it'll bring you to tomorrow, to Monday's stream. And yeah, y'all be good. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later.